You're good.
Okay.
Sweet.
Oh, here we go. Dun, da, da, da.
Cool.
Come on Facebook.
Yay!
Oh, let me mute myself before I.
Oh, wait, I should probably make sure that I have the right thing open. Did I finish downloading your stuff? I did, but I didn't actually move it. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Oops.
Okay.
You know, it's fine.
There we go.
I don't see Facebook yet.
It worked.
Alright, I just know what your favorite experiences are. It's okay. We're just.
Me?
What? You don't
I
see
set
YouTube?
mine.
Or you don't see. Oh, it's because Facebook decided to send me. Go live.
I'm on Facebook, waiting for Facebook to go live.
Got it. Sorry. It gave me 3 notifications. I'm like, usually it's just 1 and I'm done. But it's like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Okay. So I think we're good. I think.
YouTube's good. Yeah.
Yep.
Facebook is.
Did we get everything online by 12:01? What? What?
Oh my god! But it was all you. None of it was me.
That's just because I may have spent. I don't have much sleep today. It's fine. I just went through all the technology stuff and was like, obey me.
I'm in the same
Okay.
boat. I did not sleep at all last night, so we can be tired together.
We're all gonna be tired today on the stream, guys. Hi, fans.
Yay!
We're
I was only
exhausted.
tired because I was up late playing Don't Starve Together.
Your cat is adorable, Jinx.
Oh my-
Like, oh my gosh.
Kiwi.
Holy crap.
Hi. Hi.
Where's my cat? He won't show
Cosplay
up.
cat. This one loves it. Like if I'm in here, my cosplay room, she's always here, like doing something. Hey, Victoria. Thanks for joining. Let me back up my mic a little bit.
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
so we are on Twitch, we are on YouTube, and we are on Facebook. So if anybody has problems viewing it from a different social media, you can go there. And then we'll probably, instead of filming the whole thing on Instagram like we did yesterday, just because it took like 2 hours for me to finish uploading it to Instagram afterwards because it was so long. And I have really good bandwidth, so I was like...
You did the whole thing?
I did the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
there are apparently limitations to the amount of the length of video that you can have. So we're just gonna occasionally do little clips. So what I can do is I actually can just go on, I can just occasionally go on Instagram and be like,
And two, I can.
I've got the speaker, so I'll just do that, Jess. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
And wait, the hand that I normally activate my phone with, I'm glad I did both fingerprints on both hands. 'Cause otherwise, I'd be like, why isn't this working?
That's why you need the little stylus.
Yeah, I know. All right, so why don't we? I'll go ahead and film the introductions because that's the fun part. So why don't we introduce ourselves? We are now. This is CosTalk. Let me start recording, and then we'll actually tell you guys what this is. Right? That would be good.
Yeah, that would help.
Okay, so this is CosTalk Live episode 19.
19.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
And we are today talking about choosing your cosplay, and we have a guest, which in my view is below me. And this, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay. Hello. My name is Dust Bunny, and I guess I've been cosplaying since like 2003, and I don't know. I guess my most notable costume is the Totoro gown that I made back in like 2014, and now I'm like a part-time professional cosplayer. So I don't do this full-time by any means, but definitely do guesting and masquerade judging and do all that fun stuff. So, hello.
Well, welcome and thank
My
you for
awkward
joining us
self.
today.
Hi, quarantine. I don't know how to talk to people anymore.
Oh, I know. It's like, wait, how does the conversation go again?
Getting really bad.
All right, Key-chan, why don't we have you go next?
Hi, I am Key-chan Cosplay. I'm a Pacific Northwest cosplayer, and this is my cat Peppadoo, because she's joined me today. I'm a pretty relaxed cosplayer. I mostly am known for like running panels. I started finally doing skits and competitions recently, but I've done a lot of judging. I've done some guesting, and my favorite thing really to do is just to be in the workshop and working with new young cosplayers and help them learn the craft. Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Jan.
Hi.
Welcome.
All right, Jinx, your horns are magnificent.
They can't fit in the whole frame. This was actually the easiest costume to put on today that I have not already worn.
You're just gonna have to back up more. You're just gonna have to. There you go.
Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. Hi guys, I'm Jinx Cosplay. I've also been cosplaying for quite a while, since 2001, and I do a lot of video game cosplays. I've cosplayed at some international cons, and yeah, that's it. And these horns are like 2 feet wide, and I always hit people with them. I think I've hit Sam. I think I poked Sam in the eye.
You actually knocked off my hat once.
Yeah.
When I was Yojimbo, like her horns whipped, like
I was like,
her horns whipped around and were like, "You don't need a hat no more," and just took my hat off. And I was like, "Okay, so that's fun." Bye,
and that's
hat.
Kiwi. Kiwi.
Hi,
hey.
Kiwi.
Let's just leave it.
Kiwi is massaging whatever she's standing on. My name is Sam from Thermo Cosplay. And I am currently Maya the Siren from Borderlands 3, my own take. And I have been cosplaying 6 years now. But I have done way too much in that 6 years. So I may have made over 55 costumes.
And they weren't even all yours. They were like, she just makes
if
costumes.
I add all my commissions, I actually finally did a count. If I add all my commissions, I've done 60 costumes.
Not even commissions,
Wow.
like costumes that you're just like, here, wear this. Like, oh,
well,
okay.
Giving them away too.
You're in our group. Wear it.
So yeah, I'm crazy. But welcome to CosTalk Live, and so today we're going to kind of go through what it's like to choose your own cosplay. For those following us on Instagram, I'm going to stop at this moment and then pick back up a little bit later when we start sharing more images. So if you'd like to follow us, please go to Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch for CosTalk Live. And thank you for following now, but I can't do all of this and this. I love you all. Goodbye.
I'll pop in again, maybe
Goodbye.
a little later if you can. Just a couple of comments here, guys. Stephen Motti says, hello, finally, I'm here on time. Welcome back. And I think we have a comment on YouTube from Scott. For some reason, it tried to put me in the next week's episode. You're just so excited that you have to see them all at once, right?
Yes. You know what? We just want you to go everywhere at all times. So
Yeah.
Also, I think I want to wear my little hood. I like my hood. It's
hoods are cool.
warm, but I like it. Okay, so we're going to start with initially. I have a little list here. There we go. Okay, so for costuming, we're gonna start with like pictures because you guys really like pictures, and I'm gonna have to go hunting through my. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna have you guys talk about your costume real fast, and then we will go ahead and.
Like the costume we're wearing?
Actually, I can just share. It's fine. So let's share. Actually, let's just go to share my screen, and let's go to here. I forgot to put mine in. It's fine. We're good. So we're going to start with Dust Bunny, and we'll talk about your favorite cosplay, which you already stated was like very popular as well.
Yeah. So this is the gown I was talking about where I was like, this is the thing that kind of launched me into being kind of professional cosplayer, but not really at all. But basically, I guess this is my favorite, mostly because it was a costume that I had in my head of something I wanted to make, because at that time in my cosplay journey, I was really just tired of making costumes and then I guess let me stretch a little saying that I'm not like my body type is not exactly like small in a way. So if I wear certain characters, I would get a lot of backlash from it. Like I remember I cosplayed as Mad Moxie and I got a lot of hate for that because people were like, your boobs aren't big enough and you're not skinny enough to be her. And I was like, this really is sad. I love cosplay, but you know, that's really negative attention is not what I wanted. So I really love Totoro, and I decided I'm going to make this gown for KatsuCon that year because no one can really make fun of Totoro.
Yeah.
Also, like, you know, it was a cute idea. I mean, all my friends were like, that sounds weird. Why would you put the little soot sprites on the inside of the skirt? And I'm like, it'll work. I promise it'll look cute. So
it is super cute. I love it. I love this costume so much.
Thanks. Yeah, it's definitely a favorite. So this pretty much started the whole thing of, you know, you can cosplay whatever you want, like legit, you know, if you want to be a Totoro.
Totoro. Yeah. I mean, why not? Like, absolutely agree with you. And I'll see here. I have another photo. I think this way. There we go.
Oh, so cute.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I like looked at this and I'm like, now I must make a Totoro dress.
Everyone has to make a Totoro dress. I get
like,
messages.
I know. I want to make a Totoro dress too.
But I want to do like a punk Totoro. Like, Like,
Do
you
it.
better recycle, like an
Oh,
angry
yeah.
Totoro. Like, I don't
I've
know.
seen so many different Totoros. Like after this one, it was just there was like everyone was messaging me and being like, "Can I make the gown?" I'm like, "Yeah." Whatever.
You're like, if you can do this, then go for it. That stuff's not easy, so that's a lot of work. Yeah, and I mean
Yeah,
that.
so cute.
They're adorable. I just adore that.
I know, so cute.
Yeah.
How did you do? Are those like little googly eyes and like puff balls?
Yeah, so those are two different sizes of like black puff balls. I think it was like a half an inch and then like an inch, and then all the eyes are laser cut out felt that I glued on. So I glued the
Each individual eyeball.
That is
Wow.
impressive.
and then sewed it all. I think everyone's like, "How long did it take?" And I'm like,
don't
"Well,
wanna
honestly, it took
know."
at least a good week with those eyes
Wow.
sewing it in. I think there's like 200 in total or something. It was, yeah, worth it. But oh my god.
Okay, we got a couple comments. Sakura, welcome. She said the episode is not search easy at all. Maybe we can figure that out. She said, dress is stunning. You look so good, Dust Bunny.
Oh, thanks.
So cute. And Denise says, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So cute.
All right.
Yeah.
And I agree. Like, I feel like sometimes it's best to, like, if you're gonna choose a character and you know that it's just like, oh my gosh, everyone's gonna see that and go like, I love Totoro. There's just such fondness for it. So,
Oh, yeah.
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 All right. Who would like to go next to talk about their favorite cosplay?
I
And
guess-
why it's their favorite?
Ki-chan.
Ki-chan. Okay.
Uh,
Where's yours?
I think this is a rigged question because
Yeah, because she's got several.
I know, me too.
I have a special place in my heart for Holo, and like she will always be like my number one character. She's always been kind of my soul creature, and I love Holo so much, but pink is like one of my least favorite colors. So when the anime debuted her as pink, I was a little disappointed because in the book she's green. And so it was one of those things that I was just like very picky about. But in the beginning, I really chickened out and I decided to go with her pink outfit, which still looks really great. It's still a really great costume, but I was like, it's not really what I wanted to do. And so I finally just got the courage and went, screw it. I don't care what anyone else thinks. Even if they don't recognize me, I'm going to do the true Holo. And so I decided to do the novel Holo, which is almost identical to the pink outfit, just in its true colors. And I was actually really overwhelmed by how amazing people were. Like, people actually recognized me in the novel outfit and were so excited to see me doing something that was true to the series. And it was like, I've always liked cosplaying like the either the manga version or the novel version, because I'm terrible at watching anime, so I tend to do the other medias. And sometimes it's hard because not everyone will recognize you from that media, but when you do see the people that do recognize you, it makes it worth it. Like those 5 people who are like, oh my god, I can't believe you actually did that outfit.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes it worth it. And then like I also love I have Haru from Free is one of my favorites, or like Rom. My Haru. He's like my Thursday costume. Like I just always wear him when I need to be comfortable casual. And then I have Rom, and he's one of my favorites because he's actually one of the first costumes I did with my partner, like as a couples cosplay. And that's Soul Frey Studio. She's fantastic. It was such a great costume, and I've probably redone it like 4 times, wearing it, then changing it, then wearing it, then changing it, then wearing it, then changing it. So those are my favorites because of like all kinds of different things. Like I can't just pick a favorite because
It's like gut feel, right? It's like, Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to choose a cosplay off of gut feel. You're like, no, I am this character. And this is what I'm going to do.
When everyone asks me, it changes every time. So I was like,
Yours
okay.
does change a lot. Like,
Yeah.
Where's your favorite right now? It's this one right here, right?
Well, this is kind of like my overall favorite, I guess. Like, because it was the first costume I made by myself without my mom after a couple years off. The first cosplay I made when I was like living in Dubai, and it just like challenged me a lot. And it's a costume I've wanted to do for years when I played the game. So this is from Muramasa the Demon Blade by Vanillaware on the Wii. So a lot of people don't know. It's very obscure. But I just loved it. And then it took me several years to actually cosplay it. So these are done by Bros and Cons, these photos. So I don't know. I kind of want to redo it, but I don't know. It was a lot of work.
Yeah, it
So.
looked like a lot of work. When I've seen it once in person, and I mean, like, I'm assuming you hand painted a lot of that too, because
I hand painted all of it.
it was
all of
just
it.
incredible. I was like, did you spend like what 200 hours on this? Like, oh my gosh.
It was a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because like it looks so like easy and carefree when like you're in photos and stuff, but in person, that's one thing with cosplay too, when you're choosing it, is sometimes like the character looks so easy to do, but then you make it and you're like, oh my gosh, all these little minor details are rough.
Yeah, like I was like I was painting so long, like my back was hurting, so I was like leaning over. It was just, oh god. But I love the way the sleeves came out. Those are my favorite part. And then I made the sword much later, when I actually like started making props and stuff. So the sword's made out of PVC. It's really cool. So
I want to steal it from you. Sword.
It's really cool. I want to like make more swords.
Let's do it.
It was so much fun. Yeah. Yay! So yeah, that's probably my overall favorite. Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can I have like way too many things on my. You guys are gonna see like way too much stuff. But let's go to completed cosplays and let's go. Do I have? I'm gonna say Nora is gonna be my favorite. I don't know.
That's probably the one I've seen you in the most.
Yeah, I don't think I have photos in here though. I think it's in my convention too. This is what I mean by like the curse of way too many photos for me. Like, oh my gosh, guys.
Oh, I have them by character.
I have them by year because I do so many events. So as you can see, it's like pretty scary. I think I have it in the Sabaton gallery. I think it's there. Yeah, here it is. So like Nora is gonna be my favorite just because one, I enjoy booping people. Booping is excellent.
You look so cute and happy. Look at you, you're like, yeah.
Two, I've been told many times that people think my hair is legitimately orange, and I'm like, I don't have orange hair, but I appreciate that, and I think it's just because, I don't know, I'm
you pale. Look good in every color, Sam. Like, she has this, like, pea green wig for her Yojimbo, and I'm like, what the heck? Like, you make it look so pretty. It's like, everything looks good on Sam.
It's called being stupid pale. So
maybe. But just everything looks good.
But I like this because it was like the first time that I felt like overly confident in like a really short skirt, because I'm telling you, there's like 1 inch between the bottom of my butt and that skirt.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of booty, and I was like, oh gosh. But it's just, she's so powerful and fun, and she has so many different personalities that like.
Yeah, you look so cute.
I mean, it's so much fun. It's just like, and plus the fact that she's got a prop that transforms, so like on days where I'm tired, I can just carry around her little grenade launcher, and on days where I've got plenty of energy, I can do like what I think I did this in like, I want to say 2017. We're gonna see. There's Sabaton was like where I always wear all my costumes. It's like ridiculous. But yeah, so Sabaton, this one, like I had her big hammer. I don't know where it is. I don't know, guys. Anyways, some of you have seen me know that I have a giant hammer for Nora that is like 6 feet tall. So it's definitely a lot of fun to choose a character that you know that you're going to love and that you can emulate. And even if you can't emulate that character, like just something that even if someone comes up to you and judges you and is a complete jerk, because it happens, you can just brush it off and be like, I don't care, I freaking love this character. Bye.
Yeah, I'll be who I be, you know? So just going to cut in here with a couple of comments. So Luke Jacobs on YouTube says, hi. Hello, Luke. Thanks for tuning in. And on Facebook is Roy. Hey, Roy. Roy's actually a friend from high school. So thank you so much for tuning in as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Share it with your friends.
Yes. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how each of you selects a cosplay, like what the process is that you go through. Who would like to go first? Otherwise, I'm going to choose.
Let's let our guest go first.
Okay.
She's
over there. No, I went first last time. Someone else go.
She's like, no.
Okay, all right. Sam, you go first.
I'll go first. Fine. Okay, so my cosplay process is ridiculous. But basically, once I know that I love a character, even if like whether I've watched or seen a photo online of something, I research them for practically a month. I collect every screenshot I can find. I'll even buy the game if I have to, or the manga or whatever it is if I can't find proper screenshots. I'll buy a figurine if I can't find anything. But basically, I make it to where I guaranteed have a turnaround of some kind. And that's just because I have an animation background. So turnarounds to me are incredibly important because I can see all the angles, and that way I can interpret it for my body type. Because, like Dust Bunny reference, I do not have a normal body type. I'm like almost 5'10", and I am stocky Like, I have a lot of muscle, and so it's not easy for me to buy costumes. Usually I have to buy them, and then I have to take them in, and like I have to buy them like 2 sizes too big to fit shoulders and hips, but then take in drastically everywhere else, and that kind of compromises the costume. So that's why I do so much research to make sure that when I'm building it, I can make it fit my body type. Because there are some characters, as much as I love them, their outfits just really aren't going to work for me without a lot of modification. And it's like, do I want to wear that corset? Do I want to wear that padding? Do I want to wear the, like, sometimes I'll wear like drag queen boobs I have, but I don't want to wear them all the time because they're so heavy. They're
But
like,
you love them.
I do. But they're 5
Y'all love 'em.
pounds, and because
my
they're
God.
silicone, your skin can't breathe. So when I take it off, I feel like it's like I swam in my boobs. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I totally get it.
it's bad. But it's basically one of those things that I start with is I do a month of research, and then I do another month of material collection. So I determine what is it going to cost. I break down a budget. I like to use the app CosPlanner. And by that point, once I've broken it all down, if I'm certain I can afford it and I'm certain I can complete it in the time frame I have, then I'll go ahead and pursue that character.
Yeah, Sam's like the ultimate, like, especially when we do groups, like, she's the one in charge. Whether she usually is the one that plans it anyway. But yeah.
I like to organize. It's kind of like a hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you need like a project managed, like, send it to Sam. So
I'll probably have a project plan for you within 2 hours.
yeah, probably. So like segueing into that, I will go ahead and talk about my process. My process for the last 2 years has been Sam pick something for me in a group, and I make it. Like, this is what this was. She's like, which one do you want? I was like, okay. So the funny thing is me, Sam, and I think one other person were the only ones that actually completed our costumes in this. We were supposed to compete like as a team at Tucson Comic-Con. I was in this, and she was going to be in Yojimbo, and then she's like, they just invited me to be a guest. I was like, oh, okay.
Oops, I don't think a guest should be in the costume contest that they're judging.
And I don't actually like competing. The only reason I compete is because of Sam. She's here on my screen, but anyway. So I was like, should I pull out of the contest? And I was like, whatever. Like, I'll just do it. And then I ended up getting best in show, so that was cool. But I'm not trying to brag or anything. But anyway, so other than Sam picking my costumes, because I think 2020 was all picked by her, I usually go for characters that I absolutely love. Like way back in like the early 2000s, like there were a lot more gatekeepers out there, like a lot of gatekeepers.
Yeah.
So I only like to cosplay characters that I really like knew a lot about, and that was my thing only. Like, I didn't judge anyone else for doing it, but I know that we heard stories about gatekeepers online and everything like that. So I didn't start cosplaying characters I didn't really know that well until I came back to the States and met Sam, and she's like, let's do all these groups. So I was like,
I don't care if you
okay.
don't know anything about a costume. If you love the way it looks, I will fight for you.
Yeah, well, I love League skins, right? But I don't play League, and so I always wanted to cosplay someone. And then finally, like, actually, Amber was like, "Hey, you should do KDA with us because we still need an Evelyn." And I was like, "I don't know, because I don't even play." She's like, "It doesn't matter, just do it." So I bought the costume. It was like one of the first costumes I bought, and I had so much fun. Like, oh, it's so much fun. So that's another thing that I
need to watch. She got me into Pyrrha from Ruby, and like that was my introduction to Ruby, was her going, "You're gonna cosplay with us at Emerald City," and I was like, but I've never watched the show before.
Yeah.
Then, almost a month later, I binged as much that existed.
If you guys know me in person, or if you're gonna meet me at a con, chances are I'm gonna be like, "Hey, I have some spare cosplay. Would you like to wear it?"
Yeah. Yeah. So Sam is So she basically chooses for everybody, and
I don't force it. Like, it's one of the, like, you don't have to. No pressure.
She comes up with all these groups. She's like, "Here's 8 more groups. Who do you want?" And I'm like, "Oh, I want to cosplay in all of them, but I can't. My bank account says no." So, but I also love to cosplay with like friends. So that's another like defining factor, is if like all my friends are doing it and I want to have a good time with them, because that's why I cosplay, is to like 1, to craft, and 2, to have fun. So that's another thing that helps me decide too. Oh, and of course difficulty. Like, if it's like, I don't know why I ended up doing this one, because I don't even know how I did it. But with friends' help, I did.
It's awesome.
Thank you. And it's so actually light, I can like wave my head around and hit people. So
Yeah, literally. Her magnets don't move. She just smacks you.
Yep. Yeah. So that's how I pick. However I like it. So what about you, Ki-chan?
I I don't know if I have a process. It's more of just like, oh my God, I fell in love with this character. I really want to replicate this. And earlier I was mentioning like, I mean, I watch a lot of anime, but I definitely lean towards manga. I'm definitely a hardcore manga reader. I binge manga so much faster. So I do lean towards manga characters. Like Chisei, actually, I put this costume together before the anime was even like talked about. I fell in love with Magus when book 2 was released. And so it was just such a baby. And I'm like, I'm going to do this. I don't care if anybody doesn't like it. But by the time I could put her together, the anime trailer got released. And so I actually went to the theaters dressed as Chisei to go watch the first 3 episodes. And that was absolutely lovely.
Oh,
But
so cute.
I have just such a knack for picking characters that are like the side characters or the ones that don't have like 360s or the ones that are like that one picture. That's it. That's just it. Like that one of Rom that I always said I've redone 4 times. That's from Show by Rock, the video game. And like there's 3 pictures. I have all 3 pictures that exist of that costume. And like putting that together was a nightmare because the first picture I got was actually a really bad picture from Japan, and it actually had the colors a little wrong. So the first time I did him, it was completely wrong. And then that taught me a very valuable lesson of being very careful about references I pick. So now usually I pick a costume, I pick a character that I just really feel I can embody and enjoy acting as. And then I spend some time picking out references, picking up speech patterns. I spent a lot of time in drama, so I tend to lean towards the acting side of things. And after my references, I usually draw everything out. I'm not necessarily an artist, but I always feel really good about sketching things because then I can get kind of an idea of what I'm going to do with each piece. So I usually sketch the whole costume and then separate pieces that might be difficult so I can get an idea of what I'm working with and the different layers that might be laying in between. So I can better see what I'm working with and how much fabric I'm going to need. And that's just kind of my medium to figuring out how I need to put a costume together before I go buy the materials and finally finish the processing.
Yeah, actually, when you mentioned like photos, like I know Dust Bunny, you know this, like there was barely anything on the internet. Like you had like the official like art, you know, like they would make these artists fan arts and whatever, and or you'd have to just watch the anime or play the video game, like Sam said. Like when I was doing Momohime, there actually wasn't that much Momohime out there because it was so obscure, but I just got pictures of the figure and I was like, yes, this is what I need. I also like to look at other cosplayers as inspiration and see kind of how they interpreted things and, you know, kind of make my own way about it, you know, as long as you're not saying like, I created this by myself, you know, it was my idea, you know, I don't think it's a bad thing to do. So yeah, I think I remember I used to have like folders of like official art of like Ranma 1/2 and like, you know, Sailor Moon, all the stuff you collect online. But
yeah, I just recently was gifted the Magic Knight Ray Earth art book series, and I'm like, no, I don't need me more Magic Knight Ray Earth.
I was just looking at the RG Veda ones I have, and I was like, why don't I have Magic Knight Ray Earth ones? But yeah, anyway, so go ahead, Dust Bunny.
I guess for me, usually I think about what cons I'll be going to that year. That's usually a really good way for me to know what characters to kind of go for. Because in LA, that's where I live in Los Angeles. So here we have a lot of different kinds of conventions. Whereas back east, I mostly just went to anime conventions. But here it's like, you know, pop culture conventions, Star Wars conventions,
Disney conventions.
All of them. So that kind of narrows down what I can sort of do. I mean, you can make anything, but I like to make stuff that's curated more for the event because it's just more fun. But I usually start with Pinterest. That's like where I put all my photos, where I look up other cosplayers that made other things, or if I'm making more of an original design, like this Baby Yoda, it's like what shapes do I want to go for, and I'll pin that. And then I'll draw it usually. And then I'll buy the wig first, usually, especially if I'm doing an original character design. And then I'll go from the wig and pick fabric based off the wig color. And that's usually how it goes from there. Nice. And fabric and all that kind of stuff.
That sounds so much easier. I need to implement that because like the wig is usually my last purchase.
Nah, it's always
Sometimes
first.
It's tricky. Sometimes it's like, okay, I've spent 3 weeks trying to find the right shade. I've bought 4 different wigs. I've gifted them away because I'm like...
Yeah, wigs can be tricky, like, and especially like if you need to style them, especially. So if I have to style them, I usually get them pretty early too.
A great hack for wigs is so like Epic and Arda both have rings of their hair samples, and like just get them. Like if you struggle with wigs, it's 100% worth it being able to like look at the tone against your skin and like see how you feel about it. Cause like actually yesterday I was looking for a wig for Kirishima from My Hero Academia, and I spent like an hour with a friend going back and forth going, what about this color? What about this color? No, how about this color? Wait, no, look at these references. I don't like that length. Like an hour. And then finally I was just like, oh shoot, I should just like text, cause I have an Epic ring, but I don't have Arda, but my partner does. And so I was like, I should just text my partner and be like, send me all the colors of Arda.
You know what I normally do, which this works for me. I do it every single time. But so if I'm doing, I guess I was looking up like a Bulbasaur wig the other day, just like, oh, I kind of have a cute idea. Let's see what wig color. And even if it's in stock, like that's usually the game I have to play. But I'll take the picture of like Bulbasaur, like the best one I can find, put on my computer, and then I'll go to Flickr. I don't know if you guys remember Flickr, but it's like that photo
site
center. And then I'll go to the Arda one and type in whatever wig color there, and then use those real life references along with the Arda photos and kind of gauge which color is the closest. Because honestly, like Bulbasaur is like, is it more teal? Is it more green? Like,
this is why I like choosing wigs that are much lighter in color, that I can airbrush or layer onto or paint onto or make them out of foam.
Yeah.
Now that I know how to make a foam wig, I'm like, actually, maybe I should make more of these because this is not that difficult. Like I attached it to it was like a fetish mask that I cut the center out of because like it was $5 and I'm like, it has a zipper. That's all I need is a back zipper so that I can unzip the back, slide the head on, and then zip it back. And so the wig attaches at the top here. And there's a zipper in the back that I just slide my hand under, and I can throw this on over my head, and it stays. Because I've seen people wear these foam wigs, and they have to glue them to their skin. And I was like, I really don't want to do that because I'm very sensitive to adhesives. So I only have so much time that I can wear something with adhesives. And so
that's
wig
cool
too.
though.
If you're really desperate, I guess that's the way to go too.
Yeah, definitely. Like a lot of obviously like cartoons like Splatoon. I see a lot of cool Splatoon foam wigs.
Oh yeah.
Just want to say hi to somebody on YouTube. Franklin Newton says hello, Dust Bunny. Says hello, everyone else. Unfortunately, I'm unfamiliar with. That's okay. You can find us. You can find us on Facebook, CosTalk Live. So come there and say hi and follow us too. So thank you so much for joining in.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate anybody just strolling by. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we've talked a bit about like our introductions. We've talked about our favorite cosplays and kind of our selection process. So I'm going to go ahead and start opening up. Like I'm going to start pulling up some of our work in progress and walk me through like what your thought processes are when you're building your costumes, because sometimes that plays into the selection of what you're going to wear. So let me get this up.
Yeah, sometimes
like now I'm real struggling with Kirishima because I love my boy, but he don't wear a shirt. And so I have like either build the chest plate or modify the costume. So I finally decided I'm going to do his winter outfit because he wears kind of this sleeve thing, but I'm going to bring the sleeve down to cover up my chest a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I still get the kind of idea that he's mostly naked, but everything's covered. It just takes thinking and progressing and drawing things out and deciding what you want to do.
I've seen some really cool like men's chest like silicone pieces. Like I was going through someone's Instagram and like I saw boobs and then I did it and I was like, wait, what?
Just
it
so
looks
you know,
so real.
On average, the ones that you can wear like a t-shirt or the ones that have snaps or zippers in the back, because I have purchased 2 sets now to try and become an anime character because like I'm not wearing compression, guys. I am really flat-chested. Anyways, it's like all of it went to my butt instead of up here. It's fine. But it's one of those things that like it costs anywhere on average. Like if you want one that may not be as strong, so you're gonna have to be really careful because it's fragile. It's probably gonna be around start at $100. With the good ones that will last up to 20 years, or on average, are anywhere from $200 to $250.
But they look amazing.
Oh, they
I was
do.
like, I had to go back and like, wait, is she wearing a boob plate or I was like, what the heck? But she was wearing a male chest plate, and it looked so good. It was just whoa. I was like, wow, that's magic.
Impressive. All right, who wants to talk about their work in progress first? I went first last time.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay,
I'll go first.
there
there was something I wanted to say, but I forgot. Anyway, yeah.
Why is
So,
your picture not loading?
when I start cosplay, I do the same thing that Keishan does, and I draw everything out, especially parts that I'm not sure of. I mean, nowadays they have like reference kits for characters and everything, but back then we didn't always know what the back looked like, so I kind of like figure out what the back would look like, and then I always start with the hardest thing first. So if it's something I don't know how to do or I'm learning how to do, I always do it first because I'm more experienced in sewing, so I can always do the sewing last because I can zoom through that. So this is this headpiece here, and I had no freaking clue what to do, like no clue at all. So our friend Amber Bright Props was so gracious to let me come over, and she showed me how to make a horn. So this is the insulation foam that you can get at like Home Depot. Like you can get a board for like $5. I stuck them together, put a wire in them, we drew it out, and then I used her belt sander to shape it. I was so amazed with myself. I was like, holy crap, I did that. So something I'd never done before is made foam horns.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Is like if you have a costume that has an element to it that you've never experienced before, you might want to start with that.
Yes.
Simply because you don't want to save it for the end and then not be able to accomplish it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this, it's going to take you longer than you think every single time. Like if you think it's going to take you, 5 hours, it'll actually take you probably 20. And if you make mistakes, then you got to scrap it and do it all over again. I was pretty lucky with this, and I didn't have any huge problems. But as you can see, it was a lot of work, and of course, you got to wait for layers to dry.
Yep.
And because I'm great at procrastinating, I didn't have enough time to put enough layers. But I guess it works in my favor because it kind of looks like like the scales or of a dragon's, whatever. So, this one. Okay, so this one was pretty difficult because
Just like
I made Black Cat Diva like the day they released it. I was like, I'm doing this. There's Tempe LibCon this Saturday. They released it on a Tuesday, so I had to do it quick. So unfortunately, when I first wore the costume, I didn't have the little cats on the fabric because the only way you could get it now, I think there was Dangerous Ladies were printing the fabric and selling it. So instead, I made my own stamp, and I got a template from the Mad Hatter workshop, and I just stamped all the fabric. And I did that after the fact, after I actually made the costume, as you can see. So that was a lot of work. But then I got commissioned to do another one, and I stamped the fabric before I actually made it. So that was a lot of work, but I love the way it looks. I had to mix this perfect color of like silverish black, and I stamped the whole thing, and I just love it. So that's something that I think a lot of people find impressive because they're like, how did you do this? I'm like, yeah, I hand stamped it all, like one stamp.
And sometimes it's fun too. Like I like to choose projects too based off of like interesting elements of it. I'm like, oh, that looks like fun. Like I actually want to try that.
Yeah, same. Although this was tiring too because I was like leaning over, like stamping a lot. So this is my assistant. That's Lynx actually.
Oh, sorry, that's Lynx.
That's
right.
Okay. They look the same. So when I made Wayfinder Moana, I had to work with tons and tons and tons and tons of feathers, and I never want to again. I can't even tell you how many feathers. I found this technique from like a fashion design blog, and basically I took each individual feather, cut them to length, and then I glued them onto bias tape, and then I sewed each strip of bias tape on that. Well, I made the cape first, so the cape is lined, so it's both sides, so it's pretty heavy already. And then I would I machine sewed every single layer of feather. Now, gluing it obviously isn't going to be permanent, so sometimes the feathers do come off. I mean, they're fragile. It's just what it is. So
you left some feathers in my car.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I left feathers everywhere. So I probably won't wear it again because replacing the feathers gets kind of messy. But that one took a long time. And that one I got also second place in Journeyman at Phoenix Comic Con. So that was worth it as well. But I love it. The feathers are so pretty, and everyone just loves seeing it in person. So as you can see, my cat loved it too.
Yes. It's cat approved.
Cat approved. That's right.
All right,
That's
who would like
always
to go
find a way
next?
on fabric.
I just want to say hi to DJ Ranma S on Twitch. Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for supporting us and joining us again. I hope this is looking better on Twitch. We're work in progress on Twitch.
Yeah. All right.
How about you go?
KJ? Do you want to go next? Talk about your work in progress?
Definitely should go.
What do you say? This one.
Okay, fine.
You can
So,
He's like, no, you go.
You go.
of all the little pieces I've done in my life, this accessory is the one that made me get gray hair practically. I was very specific about Holo's bag because I had done it like 3 or 4 times, and I couldn't find one that I thought was accurate enough. I found a couple of really good, like the hard part was finding one screenshot from the anime that like actually had it in really nice details. Cause when animators like, it's a little detail, so we're just gonna smudge paint on it and make it look like the prop. Yeah, no, it took forever to find like, I ended up taking a screenshot, I think from the very ending of the bag. And then I ended up hunting down a bunch of art from the books, and the books and the anime are slightly different. But I decided to kind of combine the two. So I kept with the colors from the anime because in the manga version, it's kind of a scarlet red, and then it has embroidered like pink beading on it. I tried the embroidery, it didn't look good. I tried beading it, didn't look good. Like I did everything you could possibly do, and I finally ended up just painting it and then just stenciling on each of the embroidery pieces. And from a distance, it looks way better than anything else I had done. But it was one of those pieces, and so like the next picture is my before and my after. And like,
oh, even the before looks good. That looks like it was color blocked. It looks good.
Yeah, so that one I sewed. It was just sewing
okay.
on squares. That was the very first one I ever did in 2017, and then many years later, I did it again, and I really like how it turned out. But like, this is just you're only ever going to get better. Like, don't ever be frustrated when you get a piece and it doesn't turn out right. Like, we all redo pieces. Like, it's not a secret. We don't master something in a night. So I also have, like, this bag took forever, but now I finally, years later and 4 times later, have, like, the piece I love. So just keep going, keep trying, and try new techniques. Like I said, I did embroidery, I did sewing, I did beading, I did everything, and I finally just gave up. And then my next piece is actually do the white one first.
Okay.
This is Mom's crown. And this is the first one I did because I had no idea what I was doing. So I did a wire frame and paper mache, which was far too heavy, actually. It kept falling off my head. But it was the start of it. I don't have any good pictures of it anymore because when I first wore it, I actually, at the skit, it fell off my head and it chipped really badly.
Oh.
But actually, it ended up working. I ended up winning that skit.
Nice.
So
there you go. It was worth it.
I really didn't like it. It was too heavy. It chipped. I would have had to redo parts of it. So I decided to try it in foam. And so that's when I started doing this one, which I just made a template. I cut it out. I used a Dremel and hot iron to make all my shapes and to cut out all the pieces. And the mess that became my living room for Rom. Oh my God, he was a nightmare of a costume. And now I look back and I'm like, I'm so proud of him.
This looks like every prop. Like anytime you have to paint something or seal it, you're like, this is it.
I need cardboard. I need newspaper. No, that looks standard.
So then I ended up finishing his crown, and I'm so much happier with it.
It's cute.
I did the damage in it because he's actually like supposed to be this demon king, so I wanted to not be perfect, so I made it rugged, and I actually used nail polish for most of my painting because I liked the shine that it had versus just using acrylic paints or airbrush. And ironically, this also fell off when I did a skit in him a second time. But I also won that skit, so now it's just like good luck if my crown falls off.
If the crown
you're like at the end of your skit, you're like, I won. I already know I won. That's so funny.
I'm so proud of these tiny little props because for me, it's the details. Like my very first costume I wore on the show was Arabian Haru, and I made a necklace, and like you can't see that necklace; it's under my scarf. But I'm still so proud of that necklace because it's such a minor detail, and that's what I really fixate when I pick out costumes and really focus on the tiny details. So for me, that's like my big thing. I go and I build stuff. I usually pick my wig out first. I get my makeup. I do my sketches. But I usually do the props and the shoes and all of the outside pieces because like Jinx, I can sew. Like that's one thing I'm confident in. So I do everything else first, and then I finish up the costume with the sewing pieces.
Yeah, awesome.
What about you, Dust Bunny? What would you like to start with, Fiona or your shoes?
I guess we'll start with Fiona because that's the first one.
All right.
So I guess this is the wig process that I did for my Fiona from
Adventure Time.
Duh. So I made this, I want to say it was like a year or two ago for Los Angeles Comic-Con or Kamikaze or whatever you want to call it. So I guess I'll start with this one. So this isn't a full wig, by the way, because Fiona has that like hat So I
Yeah.
decided to just get a like a bang piece
Okay.
instead of a full wig, but I added in wefts. So the bottom half where it's like really long, like a totally different layer, that's extra wefts.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then I kind of just, divided up the hair as to what side I needed it to flew to. And then this is all the curling that I did for the wig. And then I don't know if you guys have done this before, where you take like a plastic bag and then steam the inside and like let it all heat up and then just let it sit for like 3 days.
It's amazing. It's a great technique. I don't know why more people don't do it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Awesome.
I had never heard of that before, and I'm now doing that forever.
It's so good.
I mean, it's the best way to melt it's like plastic, right? So it's synthetic, so it's the best way to basically force it to carry that actual shape.
Ashley mentioned this on an episode before you were with us, Ki-chan. So yeah, I do steaming too. It's amazing. You have to get one of the little handheld travel steamers. They are so amazing. It'll change your life.
It's great. It's a really good way to get a lot of good curl. I mean, I use heating irons too. Like this wig is a heating iron one, but it's different curls. So it's like, what kind of curl do you want? And for Fiona, I actually got the inspiration to do her from, have you guys seen those like, I think they're Monster High dolls or something where people like redo them?
Oh yeah, doll repaints. Yes.
I saw one woman on YouTube and she did this whole Fiona, and the Fiona was really curly, and I was like,
Is it Delightfully?
I don't know.
One of the popular ones. I
was
love
looking
Monster
up
High.
Fiona like makeup ideas or something. And
Oh, nice. Cool.
so yeah, so this is the left side is the curls that are like really tight, like right after I take them out of the sponge
curlers.
thing,
Yeah.
and then the other side's like me, they're brushed out. So that's that shot.
Nice.
And then this is when I kind of move and style all the curls to whatever side.
That's a great idea because then you don't have all that bulk under your hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. I was like, I can't do a full wig. And also no one's going to see it. And I'm not taking, because in the cartoon, she has like really long hair. And I was like, I'm not taking the.
Yeah. That's brilliant. It looks so cute too.
It's adorable.
Oh, how cute.
You know
That's
what?
what
Was this Kamikaze last year?
I-
Or the year
Maybe?
before? Because I think I've seen you. Because I went to it the past 2 years, and I was like, "Yo, that Fiona's dope." But there were so many people. I was like, "Bye."
I feel like it might have been 2 years ago because I think last year I did Midsummer.
Okay.
So I think this was maybe 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah. This
Yeah.
is cool. This is awesome, and like
Super
that's like that
cute.
curl is just gorgeous.
Yeah, it was fun. I was like, do I really want this big curl? And then I was like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Big curls are the
100.
best. Always.
But yeah, it was fun. I liked it.
That's a great way to just kind of walk through, and like I guess that's a good reason to start with the wig too, because once you have like something like that, like whether it's simple or complex, it kind of gives you like a boost to just keep moving on with like the next part. So I like this idea of starting with the wig. I need to change my mind here. All right.
Cool.
Yeah, so this is so every couple of years I try to do a really big build of some kind. It's just I don't do it often because having usually a full-time job, it makes it really hard to really commit. And how many cons we have here, it's really hard. And I do try to make a costume, like a new one, every single convention, at least one. I know some people that make like 3. I can't do that.
I like to do that too. I like to have at least one.
Yeah. So this was for WonderCon last year, and I decided to make Sora from Kingdom Hearts 3. So this is, and because I made a Sora way back with Kingdom Hearts 2, and it was awful. It was all hot glued together, and I was going to do it this time. So I decided to start with the shoes for this outfit. I'm pretty sure I started with the shoes. So for this, I took a pair of old Converse and put, so the one in the back, that's the step 1. So there's like cotton backing on the back, and then the front is a piece of block foam that I carved with like this electric knife chiseling tool. And then the black shoe is the next step where it's all covered in felt. So it's like one layer of felt to help like keep it looking like one shoe.
See,
how
I've
did
been
you
afraid
adhere
to
the belt?
actually choose costumes because of shoes, because I have like really narrow feet, and I have to be very careful. Like I broke my ankle when I was really young, and so I have certain like issues with my tendons. But this is freaking awesome, and now I'm like,
How did you adhere the felt to the foam?
Um, that might have been hot glue, but it could have been another adhesive. I live with a prop maker, so we have.
Nice.
Oh, actually, no, it was barge. I used barge.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, because hot glue on shoes in Phoenix would be awful.
Yeah, I don't think I did hot glue for this one. I think it was all barge because I remember the window was open.
Oh yeah. Oh, those look amazing.
So this is the shoe with the fabric on it. It was awful. And it looks good now, but it was a struggle to get.
It looks amazing though.
How did you do the pattern for it? Did you have to like do the saran wrap and tape or?
Trial and error.
I think I just did trial and error.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
Because it was mostly just the curves were really hard. So just finding a stretch vinyl of any kind was really difficult, and it has to be thin because of how many layers I was putting on this.
Yeah.
So I didn't want it to get bulky. It was really upsetting because while I was making this, that foam putty stuff or whatever came out.
Oh, foam clay?
Oh yeah, the foam clay.
Yeah, and I was like, that would have been so much easier.
Yeah, true. I love foam clay.
Now I have to make shoes out of foam clay too. Dang it, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's this one.
Really
and then
cool.
you'll see all the pins because
Yeah.
it was mostly me keeping the adhesive down because barge you have to like kind of let it set even though, and I was moving quickly, so that's why there's a lot of pins. So
they look so cool.
So this is the shoes without the soles because those were getting made by my prop maker. So there were supposed to be soles on the bottom, and then you can see the soles.
So cute. Oh my gosh. Yay.
So it was really fun.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, that is incredible. Like, that's cool. So that's a good way to like choose your character too. And I'm actually gonna stop sharing for a second. And we're gonna move because we're kind of running into time. You know, when we talk, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Guys.
I just want to acknowledge some of the comments. So DJ Rama S on Twitch says he'll be hosting us from his anime jam session channel starting next week. So thank you so much. We will be sure to reciprocate. And Craftily Ever After, hi girl. You love doll repaints. I love doll repaints too. I actually have stuff to do doll repaints. I've just never done it. And then Sakura on YouTube. Gosh, you guys are awesome. Like every single channel. Sakura says, "Rom baby, yes." So. I love like all the platforms. Everyone's interactive. It's awesome.
Hi everybody. Okay. So since we're gonna move real quick, I'll touch on this real fast before we move into like our fondest cosplay experience and why we were happy that we chose that character. And so one thing you want to consider, one thing that's very important when choosing your character is the genre that you're choosing to, because there are pros and cons to genres, right? So for video games, typically there's a pro of, because it's a video game, it's usually really easy to find a turnaround or screenshots, or it's really easy to like go watch a Twitch stream or find, a lot of games are streamed these days, so it's typically easier to find references for video game characters than it ever was before. Also, a lot of game makers realized, hey, cosplayers are pretty good for promotion. Like I know a couple like Gearbox is like, yes, more people are playing our games because hey, we're just sending all these turnarounds to them. But the cons of video game cosplays are their props and like the unrealistic body proportions, which anime also shares with them.
Oh, yeah.
True.
And so that's one thing you'll really want to think about. You know, you want to think about, okay, if you're doing a video game character, you're going to have to adapt that costume to your body type. Same thing with anime. You're just going to have to understand that it's not a real person.
Oh yeah.
And there's really, I'm going to stop sharing for a little bit, but there's really no way to achieve that without a lot of like prosthetics, corsets,
gravity-defying aspects.
Yeah. And so don't push it too hard. Find characteristics of the character that are really, really true to them. Like Maya, it's her blue hair, her crazy eyes, little like tattoos. Like this actually glows in the dark. I'm gonna change it up because it drives me bonkers, but I'm switching out for a mesh one that matches my skin tone better. But hey, first run, and it glows in the dark. Yay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But every genre is difficult. Like movies and TV are a little bit easier because they're actually worn on a real person. So a lot of these costume designers are like, how do we put this on? So you're going to see seams and zippers, and they're going to be more invisible, but you'll actually be able to tell where they connect. So
They'll know that it was made in real life, so you can.
Right.
It's possible to remake it.
But they also use higher end materials, so it might be more
Yeah.
difficult to find something that matches. So you're just going to have to understand that you may not have all the texture or detailing, or if you want that crazy hexagonal pattern, you're either going to have custom printed or painted on yourself. So there's going to be different things for every genre that when you're choosing, you'll really need to consider.
Yeah. The great thing though is that there's a lot of places that will like custom make fabric for you and stuff. It's pricey, but you know, if you wanted the accuracy,
Spoonflower is one of the places I typically visit.
Joanne does it too, I guess. I didn't realize that they did, but yeah.
And it's so fun that, like, you need to alter a costume to be like you decided you want a femme version or you want a more masculine version, or like what I'm doing with Kirishima. Like I'm still doing his whole hero outfit, but I'm making it just enough to cover up the important pieces. Like have fun like playing with it and making it to your costume type, because these aren't set in stone. Like we're creators, that's our job.
Yeah, like Maya's supposed to have yellow on the inside. I don't like yellow that much. Yellow and gold, I don't know. I have like anytime I work with anything that has yellow or gold, I end up having a fight. Like my Tamatoa gold coin skirt, we're at war, but I will win.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that I was like, you know what? The leather was hard enough to work with, and it was hard enough to line. I'm just gonna stick with the black lining.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely just don't kill yourself over it. Just make adjustments. That's it. You know, artist license. Fan artist license, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think so. Okay.
So.
And Craftly Ever After says, you all look so amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mwah, mwah. Much love to you.
All right, so now we'll share our fondest cosplay experiences. I'll just jump in first because I know where it, well, I hope I know where it is. I think I do.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. It's fine. Once again, Sam's going through her digging.
Sam makes so many friends when she cosplays. It's hanging out with her is like hanging out with a celebrity. She knows everybody. Hey.
I'm sorry.
So.
Sorry, not sorry. But I would say that Saboten 2018, which is obviously 2 years ago now, my favorite experience was the when we did our evolutions. It was a lot of work. Like I made my own costume. I helped 2 people make their costumes. I made 2 people's costumes. So it was one of those things where it was just, why is this not opening? There you go. It was a lot of work, but it just turned out so amazing. And I think we're still missing one.
Missing 2. Wait.
No, we're just missing Glaceon.
Oh, Glaceon.
Yeah.
And this is the first group that Sam had officially asked me to be a part of. And the Umbreon is my sister, so I'm Sylveon, and my sister's Umbreon.
Yeah, I made the Umbreon's undersuit. I made the Vaporeon's clothing. I helped the Espeon with hers. I made a majority of Jolteon's clothing. I helped the Eevee with hers, and I made all of mine, which is Leafeon.
Yeah. Like, I think only me and Amber did ours 100%.
And it's fine because it was just one of those good experiences of like, look, I know I'm asking a lot, so what can I do to contribute to help with you? And like the fact that like it was fun getting to work with so many different body types and getting to interact with so many different people and try so many different techniques. It was just, I mean, it was a lot of fun. And
it was so much fun.
I love our ears. Like those, we literally all met together and made ears, and it was just magnificent. And like I'd never made a jacket before for Jolteon, so that was pretty tricky, but it didn't turn out too bad. But I have to say, like, oddly enough, my favorite part was learning how to make a decent bodysuit. That was rough. But also it was for Vaporeon, I learned how to make this like little shell thing, and I used a stretch polyester, only 2-way stretch, and I stuffed it full of batting. And then I sewed it while the batting was in there so that it would kind of rotate and curl and push it. And it just...
It looked good.
It looked so cool. And I was like, yay!
Yeah, that's probably my favorite group I've ever done. That's like, everyone looks so... Look how cute that looks! Oh my god!
And
like, and these people are like, not all of them are like, you know, avid cosplayers. So it was so great for them to like get challenged too. And it was so much fun. Oh, the only one that we didn't have the foam ears was Umbreon's. We made that out of stuffing and wire.
Yeah, well, because Umbreon's ears are a little bit different than everybody else's.
Yeah.
So Like the other Pokemon, like the other Eevees have, you know, like flatter ears, and Umbreon's like, I have tubes.
What was the material? The material that we used, Sam, because it was sponsored, right?
Oh, it was so for this one was oh gosh.
I know, I can't remember the name of it.
No,
Foss,
it's
Foss.
Flex oh gosh.
It's Foss something, I think. Foss
Shape.
foam or Foss.
Foss shape.
Foss shape. Yeah.
Wonder Flex World was what I was trying to say.
Yeah, it's like this heatable foam that hardens. And we just painted on it, so it was really easy. Yeah,
something in my eye. Yay.
You can airbrush it or acrylic. I used acrylic paint, so yeah. I think Sam, you airbrushed yours, and I think Amber did too.
Yeah, mine's made from a combination of Warbless Cobra Cast art and fur, and then the rest of them were, some of them we also did fur on Eevee, and we did fur on Flareon, and then everyone else is pretty much Foss shape.
Just the Foss shape, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
This is my favorite ever.
Yeah.
Look how cute everybody is. Oh my god. So
All right, so now I'm going to go back to this, and who would like to go next?
I guess I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go.
So yours is this one right here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Magic School Bus!
Yeah. So this is Miss Frizzle, and I made her for WonderCon. I want to say like four years ago, maybe 3 years ago. But this was kind of unexpected. I was trying to think of a character to cosplay, and for some reason, you know what it was? It was Netflix just came out with they were coming out with their Magic School Bus, like the new version. And I was like, I loved Magic School Bus. And then I was like, let me just make Miss Frizzle. And it was really cool because I just really loved how the whole costume came out. I worked on it maybe like a week or something. And like I did all the shoes and the wig and all that cool stuff. And
So cute.
it was really fun because WonderCon is a really kid convention. Like there's a lot of children there.
Oh yeah.
So I was just taking photos with kids like all day. And I mean, when I get a lot of kid attention, it's really fun for me because
Oh my god, me
they
too.
think I'm like really the character, like, and it's really cool. So it was a good time. Yeah.
You look so cute. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's another thing too, like thinking about like experiences just based off of like who you're going to interact with in that character, how the crowd will react is fun too. So we're gonna go a little bit over today, but that's okay. Just real quick to go through the favorite experiences for everyone else. Jinx, just because I know exactly where yours is. There we go.
Oh, yeah. So when I started cosplay, I learned how to sew from my mom. And she was like the brains of my cosplay. So this is Honey from a very obscure game from the Sega Saturn. And
Jinx likes obscure games.
I did, yeah. My first several cosplays were very obscure. And this was our first kind of major build. We made it in 2003. She patterned it, and like I did like all the weird stuff, and we did it together like equally. And it was just like, I will never get rid of that costume. That's my niece. And, unfortunately she passed away in 2012, and that's why it was such a hard time for me to get back into cosplay. But this always has fond memories because my mom, she was so supportive and excited. Like, she's like, yeah, let's do it. I just show her a picture and she'd be like, okay, I got the pattern. Like, she was brilliant. So that's always a fond memory for me, is making cosplay with her.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Heartfelt, pulling on
Thanks,
the heartstrings there. Gosh.
Sorry.
Gosh. All right. Now I'm gonna start with this one for you, Ki-chan.
So I base all of them are. I'm not going to talk about a single one particularly, but I just love cosplaying with my friends. Like, I cosplay because of my friends. Like
Look,
that one.
look,
right
it's a
there,
person. I just realized the wagon is a person.
That's so cute.
I love that.
That's the only one that actually has a story behind it. So I've been a Spice and Wolf cosplayer since 2017, when that other bag was made, and I've been cosplaying Holo on and off for many years by myself. She's the only costume that's kind of was the, hey, I'm going to do this on my own, and then all the rest of them were group cosplays with my gang, but Holo was kind of my one solo. And then last SakuraCon, my partner Sakura and our friend Bess put together a Lawrence and a Wagon Shan and surprised me. I don't know how the frick they did it, because we were staying in the same hotel room, but like our other roommate was in on it, and she like dragged me out of the hotel, and like they got all dressed up and surprised me with this. And so we did a full photo shoot, which was like a dream come true for me.
So
because
cute.
Spice and Wolf is just life. But like the other ones, I have like, I love Aladdin and the Chise from Vegas. I had a whole group. We also did a group for 7 Deadly Sins. like just the memories of us getting together and working on the costumes and working so hard towards this photo shoot, like every little bit, it wasn't just the convention that was fun, but like the building, the making, the getting together, the process was just as fun as the convention. And so I think that's why these ones are my fondest, because it's like, it wasn't just me like, oh, I'm making a costume. It was, hey, let's do this together. What can I help you with? What can we do together? When can we meet up? It became just a fun thing for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So since we have gone a little bit over, we will, if you have questions, please put them on the CosTalk Live pages and we will answer them afterwards. So Dust Bunny, where can everybody reach you?
So you can find me on Facebook, Dust Bunny, at DB Cosplay, and then Instagram is Dust Bunny Cosplay, and that's pretty much all I'm active on now. So yeah.
There's so many platforms, it's like hard to keep up.
Sometimes it's like, what are my favorite platforms? Okay, this is where I'm posting.
Yeah.
All right, Ki-chan.
Same, Instagram, I am Ki-chan Cosplay, and that's Kii Chan _ cosplay. And on Facebook, I'm just Ki-chan Cosplay, all one word. Easy to find, and those are pretty much the only things I do anything on nowadays.
Thanks to CosTalk Live, now you've re-energized them.
Yeah.
Jinx?
Yeah. Okay, so just before I mention where you can find me, just a couple more comments. Joe, Claude, thank you so much for tuning in every week. You're like our #1 audience member, so thank you so much. He says you're all the best to hang out with. We love to see you at cons and our panels. Thank you so much for the support. Craftily Ever After says, Pokemon, we all love it, right? And then Joe says it's great when you do a lesser known cosplay and people get it. Oh my God. So, sorry, quick story. There's one guy that got it when he saw me, and we found each other later on Instagram, and he's like, you're the honey cosplayer, you're the only honey cosplayer I've ever seen. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Sorry guys. So you can find me at jinxcosplay.com. But on all other social media, I am the Jinx Cosplay. So Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, the Jinx Cosplay.
And I'm thermalcosplay.com, and you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Instructables. I think that's all. Just
Twitter?
Go to my website.
Oh,
yeah.
YouTube?
I actually
and
do.
YouTube.
YouTube. Oh gosh. I'm everywhere, but that's because I auto-generate things and I post. I'm very good at posting to multiple platforms. I like technology.
Yeah. And then also, guys, if you are just tuning into CosTalk Live for the first time, we stream on 3 platforms every Sunday at 12 p.m. at Pacific or Arizona Mountain Standard Time on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, and sometimes Instagram Live. So we are CosTalk Live on all of those platforms. So please follow us, tell your friends, and we thank you so much for your support.
And next week we're going to talk about choosing our makeup, and then the following week we will be taking a break. But thank you, Dust Bunny, for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
I'm excited for all
costume.
the. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, we're going to end our live stream, so you're going to see things disappear. We do love all you still, but some of us need to, eat.
Eat lunch.
Let me see. Now I'm going to do the massive clicking of stopping everything.
Yeah.
This is
so we'll
fun.
just keep waving until
Bye.
it's gone.
Bye.